There's no chance whatsoever for a two-state solution. It seems that he takes some paper and reads, and someone forgot to tell him in the administration that it's not relevant. And he keeps reading from it. He reiterates, in my eyes, in an embarrassing manner.
I agree.
We have now 800,000 Jews living in 250 settlements in Judea and Samaria. Where will you put, Mr. Blinken, where will you put your two-state solution? Where are you going to do it?
In the West Bank, settlers have often gotten government recognition for settlements they built illegally after the fact. It's not government policy to allow settlements in Gaza, but Vice says she may not wait and may take a similar approach there.
What we are going to do, I'm telling you secretly, we are going to squat close to the border. Right now, there is a border that prevents us from entering. But maybe the northern part of Gaza, which is actually not under any formal sovereignty, it's called the no man's land. So maybe over there, it will be easier.
Nothing contributes to anti-Semitism more than women like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, nothing comes.
I will say I completely agree with her on one, Blinken is useless. And
well, yeah.
I agree with her about that. And the fact that there is no possibility of a two-state solution. There never was. That was
absolutely right.
That was always made up by the Zionists as like sort of like a talking point to keep people out of their business.
Right. As they kept stealing more and more land the whole time.
Well, she's right about that there can't be, that she is correct factually that is not a possibility.
Yeah. Well, I think two things struck me, so number one, when she criticizes Blinken, it is funny because it's the same way I've heard Zionists criticize Biden. So if you ever even give the most mild criticism of Israel, even if it's like fake and you like Biden, he doesn't actually give a shit about telling Israel to not do anything. Like he'll be like, don't do that, but he doesn't care, like obviously. But that's what's so funny is like Blinken and Biden, any Democrat, if they even say something that doesn't sound like, yes, Israel can do absolutely anything they want at all times. If they stray from that, now they're going to be an enemy. So it's like, that's so funny. But then the other thing is just in a way, I can appreciate when they say the quiet part out loud. Yeah. At least she's fully honest, because this is what Zionism is. It is land theft, and it's always been that. And it is always, they want all of it. And in fact, they want even more than what a lot of people realize. That's why they're in Lebanon, bombing over there in Lebanon. And now they're bombing Syria. And it's like, I don't think people understand this greater Israel. It's not going to be enough. They just want more and more and more. But yeah, it's land theft. They're going to kill as many Palestinians as they need to take all of this land. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't think I actually think they're bombing Lebanon and Syria for different reasons. I think that the goal is to drag Iran into a war. I think that's always been the goal. And I think that you've got certain people that are still in power, that have been in power behind the scenes. Again, the real people. And they have been foaming at the mouth to go to war with Iran, which we know is completely unwinnable.
And to pull the United States in, right?
Yeah,
that part. Yeah,
that part. So the way to do that is to provoke an action by Lebanon or Syria or Iraq. And so that's why. But now we know that we can't directly go in, like bomb Iran. We're not going to do that. But we'll sit there and let Israel poke at the others to see if we can. That's what we do. That's us. That's us in the world. We sit there. And so it's like, but that's why I think we're bombing there. Because I think that for the most part in Israel, they have accepted that it's the river to the sea.
Listen,
that's why they hate that phrase.
We have a plethora of, we have everybody across the political spectrum that follows our show. And we're grateful for that, because I think it's important to always stick to, Crissa, like you were saying, what's the point of crapping on, the ignorant Trump racist who lives in Missouri? Like,
how does that help us?
It doesn't do anything. So
they're not going to change their mind.
Town their entire life. It's the people who control capital who want us to hate each other that are meanwhile literally the ones who are, giving it to us in the backside. So when somebody like BW who watches our show, we appreciate you being here, but when you make a statement like this is the type of ignorant shit that comes from the right that makes you look like a bunch of morons.
Oh God!
We're there first. It's literally a settler colonial project. They weren't there. They were gone.
Here's the thing. They were there and they're still there and they're Palestinians and those are our people. Now, some of them over the years converted to Christianity and then following that converted to Islam. That happened. There are still Palestinian Jews. They're brown. They're Mizrahi Jews, which by the way, what was that? What was his name? Are treated like second-class citizens in Israel proper.
Yeah,
always have been. So this is about white Jews. You're correct.
Yes.
And I swear to you, that there were not white Jews there. You know how I know? Because they get skin cancer out the yin yang. We're not meant to be there.
That's right. That's right.
Wow. And the Jews that were there, that some of them that still were up until like, the Palestinian Jews.
Colin, drop the Zionist rage clip, please.
So that's the truth. And the Zionists treated the Palestinian Jews just as shitty as the Muslims and the Christians. The only reason they let some of them stay is to keep their numbers up. That's why they brought them in from Ethiopia. So don't tell me they were there first. Those white Jews, they were not there first.
Good for you. You're exactly right.
Man, that's easy history to look up.
This is what white, like I said, I'm not a woke guy, but this is what real Karen level white privilege looks like.
Oh, here we go.
This woman.
Oh, I have seen this. Oh, I can't look.
Israel is terrorist. Israel is terrorist.
And again, I don't want to be stereotypical, but she's not just Jewish. She is affluent Jewish, and she is in another country who are calling what's happening in Gaza.
Where is this?
Tokyo.
Oh, it's Tokyo.
So this is Tokyo. So this is person.
Oh, that is privilege. What is that?
Right.
Just visiting. I'm here visiting, and now I'm going to get in your Asian faces and tell you how stupid you are because I'm a American who knows what's best. Or she could be Israeli for all we know. And the amazing
Israeli is a made-up thing. That's not a real thing.
Fair enough.
Right.
I was raised to believe
Can I say Semitic?
You can't, but except that we're all Semitic. I was actually raised to believe that Palestine wasn't real and that Palestinians weren't a real thing. And the reality is Israel is not real, and Israelis are a made-up, entitled ethnicity based completely on land theft and white supremacy.
The only thing you have to know about her disposition in this photograph is everything that we've been saying all along. It gets to a much more deeply rooted problem here, which Crissa, the Philadelphia suburbs. I'm from central New Jersey. I grew up in Manhattan. And when you grow up in the St. Louis suburbs, St. Louis is a great example of one of
I've never
the.
been to St. Louis. I gotta
go. The arch is cool.
Yeah, it is. But
I was rejected from Washington U, and I think I've held that against you. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's too bad.
Anything that runs along the Mississippi, whether it's what happens in the northwest suburbs versus what happens in East St. Louis, what happens in Memphis versus West Memphis, what happens in New Orleans, there is this wealth gap that exists in society that translates into where people will land on political issues. And this particular issue
is very,
very class centric in so many ways.
Yeah.
So the Jewish community that supports Israel and what's going on right now almost universally are from the affluent class.
Yes.
Pretty much everybody else does not agree with this, including the majority of the Jewish population, even though that isn't what's presented in the media.
Right.
Because this is a class war, nothing more, which was what Bernie's message was in 2015 and 2016, and why it was so powerful, and why they could absolutely afford to let Trump get in there, because Trump's, he may say shit that speaks to working class populism, but his actions as a governor of the United States is one of the rich and powerful.
Yeah.
You can't have a commander-in-chief like Bernie Sanders from 2016 running this country, because it would completely change the dynamic in which this is done. The fact that this is still going on in Gaza just goes to show you that it's a rich man's game and they control everything.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.